So let's start with the topic. Today my topic is global error handling, which means I'll be discussing about the errors that can occur into your application, then how to handle them, and if possible, we'll try to avoid them. Before we move forward, can you tell me what do you do whenever an error occur into your application? You go and fix it. Just pay attention to the text. But before you can fix that, what do you need to do? You need to know that there is an error into your application, and that too before your customer knows it. Otherwise, he'll come to you with this much love saying about the errors. So first we'll discuss about what kinds of error can occur into your application. There is a possibility that either a client-side error or a server-side error can occur. First, I'll discuss about what is client-side error. Client-side errors are like error like reference error or syntax error, or you are trying to access properties or function on null or undefined values. Whereas server-side errors are the errors which happens onto your backend server. When you call the API, your server responds you with a response like 400, 504. So these are the errors that occur on the backend side. So when we talk about handling the error, Angular have a default implementation to handle these errors. What it does is it have this error handler class, and inside that, whenever an error occur into your application, it calls a method called handle error. Let's see it. Here is a class, and it have this method handle error. Whenever an error occur, this method will get called, and then it will catch that error and log that error onto the console. So now we want to change that implementation. We want to provide our solution into this. What we can do is we can catch that error, then we can distinguish between whether it's a front-end error or back-end error, and the most important thing, we can log that error onto our logging server so that our team can have a look at it and they can fix it before customer knows. Let's see the step that need to follow. So you'll create a service, then you'll write your method called handle error method. I'll tell you why we have given the same name. Then you'll distinguish between what kind of error it is, and then you log it. And then most important step is you need to tell to Angular that instead of using your own error handler, use my custom service. Let's see it in code. I have created my service which is called global error handler. Inside that I have implemented this method, and then I'm distinguished between whether it's a backend error or a front end error, and then the most important step, I'm logging it onto the server, and then the default behavior, I'm just consoling it onto the console. Let's see it in action. For demonstrating this, I have created a demo application where I have these different buttons. So if I want to mutate a client-side error, I'll click on it. So I'll show you what I'm doing when I'm clicking on it. I have this demo application page. When I'm clicking on generate a client-side error, I'm simply doing a toString on a null value, which is a client-side error. For doing the backend errors, what I have done is I have created a method, and this is the service API. Whatever status I'll pass to it, it will return me with the same status code, so that I can get the different error with error status code. Let's see it in action. So your user is interacting with the application, then he clicks on some button which generate an error. Is the code visible? Are you able to see? Okay. Is it visible now? Okay, we'll do. So what we are doing here is we are getting the error. I have write a debugger here so that we can see how it actually works. It will check whether it's a backend error. No, it's a front-end error, and then it will show a message to the customer that there is an error occur. You can give your own implementation like a good model or something, whatever you like, and then you can do the most important step, which is to log that error onto the backend server. This is a role bar that I'm using for this example. So let's see whether that error is logged onto my console or not. I'll just refresh it. It's loading. Yep, it's load. So what it's saying is, in your demo dot, is it visible? Yep. What it's showing is, in my demo.component.ts, I'm trying to do toString on a null value, which means now I have a log, and then I can ask to my team to work on it and fix it and give it a patch release to the customer. Let's see what happens when a backend error occurs. Here, I'll just check, is it a backend error? Yes, it is a backend error. And then we'll tell to the customer a different kind of behavior we can show here, that a backend error occur. And then we'll log it at the backend. Let's see whether we have loaded it or not. Yep. Can you see that? It's saying like this API is giving me this error response. So we can ask our backend team so that they can fix it. Let's see the third step, which is telling to Angular, hey Angular, instead of using your error handler, use my custom service. So in this way, we try to handle the errors. Is there any other way via which we can handle the errors? Yes, there is. If we want to directly deal with the HTTP request, the server side, then we have a HTTP interceptor. We can make use of it. And then we can, you know, whenever there is an error into my application, I can get that error, then I can check what's the status code. Let's say my backend API is returning me 401, which means my token is expired. What I can do is I can try to get the new token, and I can try to request with the new token so that I can get my result. In this way, I'm trying to avoid the error. Or it's another example could be, I'm trying to call my API, my server is too busy, and it's responding me with the error code, let's say 504. So what we can do is we can retry to do that call, so that if my server have time, then then it can return me the response. Let's see what are the steps that need to follow. We'll create a service. We have this HTTP interceptor interface which we can implement, and it have this method called intercept. Then we can write our code into that, and then we'll tell to Angular to intercept each and every request. Let's see how we are doing it. We have created this interceptor service in which we have implemented this interface. Then we have this intercept method. So it have two parameters. One is request, which is the ongoing request to your server, and then the next which is the handler to handle your request. So if you have like series of interceptor, then in that case it would be your next interceptor. Let's see what we are doing in the code. So whenever a request comes in, your intercept method will get called, and I'm telling to my handler, hey handler, handle my request, and if an error occurs, catch that error. So whenever any error will come into your application, it will catch that error, and then we can see what's the status code. So if it's a 401, which means the case that I have discussed, my token is expired, then I can call the refresh token, and then I can update my authorization with the new value, and then I can re-request to my backend server. The other example is, if the status is 504, then simply I just need to call the backend. Else, if the status code is 404 or 500, it means it doesn't make sense to call the backend again, because anyways you don't have any API or your server is already failing. Then we will simply just throw the error. Let's see it in action. We'll resolve these so that we can see that another error have occurred. I'll just remove this debugger from here so that we can see the things are working. Let's start. Let's say I'm calling my API, which will return me the status code 401. It will come into this interceptor. It will check what's the status code. Is the status code was 401. Let's try it again. So it's checking the status code is 401. It will go into this. It will try to call the new request. It will try to get the new token. Then it will say to the handler, hey handler, handle my request with the updated token. Previously we were getting 401. Let's see what we get when we try to call the backend with the new token. And here you go. You got the data. So in this way we try to avoid the error. Let's try to check what happened when we try for 504. I click on it. Let's see. Now the status code is 504. It will go into this. Can you see that, like first time we get 504. Next time I'm retrying it. It's the error handler. Even though we retried for the second time, then also we didn't get the data, but we tried to avoid the error. So in this way we discussed about the kind of error that we can get. We tried to handle them. Remember, the most important thing is to log those error onto the backend. Be it a front-end error or a back-end error, we are logging it. That's the most important stuff. And the third, then we try to handle the errors, like we try to avoid it by checking the different status code. So what's next? I think I'm done with that. So I tried to cover everything. Thank you so much.